Hey everyone, I am really excited to be with you guys again. If you're watching the replay, just give me a minute and skip ahead maybe 2 or 3 minutes of this recording while I embed this video onto the live side, and then everyone can join in the chat as well. So this session is going to be on how you can create a really awesome opt-in offer, which I am super excited about because obviously that's really important in your business to build your list and create a relationship with your audience. So you guys are all on my newsletter list, which I'm really grateful for, and is the reason that we can engage in the summer school. Cool, so let me just check that we're live. List, which I'm really grateful for. Awesome, that looks good. Sorry for the little echo. Okay, great. So I'm going to see that I can bring up the chat box for myself. If you're joining us now, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm really excited that you're here. And I'm just going to close a few more windows and then we should be ready to start. So as always, you're super welcome to ask me questions anytime. I have prepared a really beautiful session for us and I'm really, really excited. But yeah, as I said, so stop me anytime. I'm a bit sniffly today, to be honest. I'm having a cold, but I didn't want to cancel this session. And I think, I'm really grateful you're coming and I didn't want to disappoint you. If you could let me know in the chat box that you can see me, that would be amazing. I know a bunch of you are live. That is beautiful. Just gonna double check again. If you can see me and hear me, then please let me know in the chat box. I'd be really grateful. Thank you. Okay, awesome. Cool. So what I have prepared for today is the following. I would like to talk about, really how we can create an awesome opt-in offer, and then also how we can deliver it and what the difficult technical options for this are. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you can do research with your audience. In some cases, you might already have ideas of what you want to offer to people as a freebie when they opt in, or maybe you're not really sure and you're lacking a bit of vision. So let's talk about how you can do research for this. And then I want to talk about how you can put it all together technically. So, if you have an idea for an audio course, what do you then? If you want to create a beautiful branded opt-in that you can download, what do you then? And then I'm going to talk about how you can deliver this. And I think that some people kind of have a hard time imagining how that can work. So how can you, really make sure that your subscribers receive your PDF? How can they download it? And I would love to show you how I do this technically kind of behind the scenes so you can get a better idea of that. And then I would also like to talk a little bit about how you can attract those leads, ideally without spending a lot of cash. So, if you're on Facebook and you're in the online business world, you probably see ads for people asking you to sign up for this stuff every day, all the time. But there's a couple of really cool things that you can do that won't cost any money, that can generate more leads for you and build your newsletter list. And then I also, of course, want to talk about why that is so important. So let me just double check on the chat box. Hi, Kathy. Hi. Thank you so much for saying hello. That's really kind. I'm excited you're here. Cool. So why is your newsletter list so important, and why is it such a great opportunity to really build a relationship with your audience? So as we've already discussed, last week we had a pop-up session on social media strategies, and I touched on the fact that it's really amazing to build a really big social media following, but you never really own that content. And if Facebook went away today, or if Instagram went away, if that was your only strategy, then you'd be left with quite a big problem and no real way to engage your audience. So very simply put, if someone invites you into their email inbox, that's just a much bigger commitment to really get to know your business, and you own these contacts, and you can create and nurture that relationship with this client or this audience member over time. So it's just such an upgrade. If someone follows you on Instagram, that's fantastic, but if they invite you into the inbox, then you've almost won their heart already. So this is really great. And then the other thing is that it gives you the chance to really kind of let people get a taste of what it's like to work with you. And that's so important, especially if you're offering any kind of service or product that is very personal to people, you know? If we're wanting to have someone build a website for us, like people do with me, we want to know that we would get on with that person, or we want to get like a taste of what it's like to work with them. So, really great opt-in offer is fantastic for that. Let's talk a little bit about how you can do research for absolutely any industry that you might be in. So, if you're watching this and you want to have specific feedback for your audience, I'm totally up for that. So, feel free to write what you're doing in the chat box, or if you're watching the replay, come over to the Facebook group and let us know what industry you're in and what kind of services or products you're offering. And then we can brainstorm together what kind of opt-in offer might be great for you. But for now, just to give you a couple of broader tips. So one thing is you can engage with groups and be really selective. So again, if you haven't watched last week's sessions, then do go back into the resources and replay section that comes out in the newsletter. And I'm talking a little bit more about group engagement there and how that could be effective. But I really think that Facebook group can be a really great way for you to find out more about the things that your audience is struggling with and how you can solve a real problem for them. So that should be the leading question, you know, how can you solve a problem and how can you very clearly kind of offer solution for something that people are struggling with, because that is honestly the most attractive thing for people to sign up for. If they have a very practical problem and you're offering a solution, that's great. So what I'm offering is I have a do-it-yourself design and branding kit. So if people are struggling to figure out why WordPress might be the best platform for their business, or they can't really wrap their head around branding and they don't know how to get started with Canva and kind of really want some hand-holding into that space, then they can sign up for my free mini course and they can get a really great introduction, which has some videos in a PDF. And so there's different ways to get to know me there as well. So yeah, and then ask questions. So if you already have a newsletter list, even if it's really small, just ask them what they would like, you know. Go ahead and send a newsletter out and say, hey, I would love to offer you a new freebie, and I want to know what you're struggling with and what I could maybe possibly help you with. If you have been blogging for a long time and you have content that is really popular, so for example, maybe you have like 3 or 4 blog posts that just seem to come, you know, that just seem to come back with new traffic, then that is telling you that this is, you know, something that people are really interested in. Maybe you can take these 2 or 3 blog posts and really kind of bring them together, flesh them out a little bit more, and then either make an audio course out of them or a beautiful PDF that brings all of these aspects together. So that's another way to do research. And then many people will recommend that you think about your ICA, and that is your ideal client avatar. I personally really like that idea as well. And so what that means in practice is that you would really sit down and write out qualities of like one person that you'd really ideally love to work with. So I, for example, speaking about myself a lot, so I, for example, have really changed my ICA over time. In the beginning of my business, I just wanted to work mainly with women in the first or second year of their business, and I thought maybe they have done B School with Marie Forleo as well, and they want to have a website. I was really vague, so, and I thought maybe that would be like between 24 and 25, sorry, 24 and like 48 or something like that. And so now I'm a lot more specific. I know that I love working with people who have aesthetics that match mine. You know, people are attracted to my portfolio for a reason, and I usually work with people in the health or coaching or wellness industries. I often work with artists or writers. I have many health coaches in my audience, so that's great. But generally, people that are really interested in like alternative conscious living, that really want to make a difference with their business, and that are also interested in very authentic marketing. So I don't tend to attract people who want to like really be super aggressively out there and do hard sales all the time. I usually work with quite heart-centered people that really want to be conscious of how they're selling and how they're putting their stuff out into the world. And I'm super happy about that. So, and that became clearer to me by sitting down and really writing about and imagining this one person that I can imagine myself working with. And of course, there's so much diversity in the people that I'm working with now. But when I create content such as an opt-in offer or a new blog post or a podcast or this summer school, I always have one specific person in mind that I do this for, and that really helps me to kind of stay centered. So if you're struggling with, you're really thinking about and getting clear in what you want to have as your opt-in, then that might be a really great exercise for you to do, to sit down and ask, what gender is my ICA? How old are they? What are they like? Do they live in a city or in the countryside? Like what does their home look like? What do they have for breakfast maybe? What are they really struggling with? What do they wish for in their business or their careers? What do they want for their families? So lots and lots of different questions. I think that can be really helpful. Let me know if you've got a question so far, guys. You're very quiet today, and I'm really excited you're here. And if you have a question or anything that I'm saying doesn't make sense, then please do let me know. I would really, really love to hear from you. Okay. So the other thing to keep in mind as you're doing your research is that even if you don't know exactly what you want to offer in your business yet, so maybe you're at the stage that you're just blogging and you're kind of feeling into your audience and you're not totally sure what you want to offer yet, but still now is the perfect time to really start building your newsletter list, because I'm just going to check for the comment. Hi, hey, Alexandra, it's nice to see you. So still now is a perfect time to start building your list, and you will know yourself and you will already know a lot about what you have to offer. So do really start now and give people the chance to invite you into your inbox and see what they would like. But if you are at the stage where you already have a service, but you might not have a digital product yet, then think about how this freebie can be an introduction to the work that you do with people. Like, how can you create an experience for people that really serves as a taster for what it's like to receive your support and help. And if you are even further down the line and you already have a digital product, like I have the do-it-yourself courses for WordPress, web design, and branding, then you want to create something that very specifically is a taster for that thing that you're offering. And of course, as you grow your business, you might also have different funnels. So a funnel is something where someone signs up for a freebie most of the time, gets a taster for your work, and then you kind of build a relationship with them via email over time, and eventually you offer them to upgrade if that's what they want to do. So if they got to know you through your freebie and they're like, yeah, that's actually really cool, it's helping my situation, I'm ready to invest and I would like to have an upgrade of this, then they would move through that funnel further, and in the end eventually sign up for your paid program or an ebook or whatever you have. So if that's you and you already have that, then your opt-in should really be a very specific taster of what is to come for people. And of course, there's a really fine balance that you want to hit between really kind of giving people a lot of rich information and really establishing yourself as an expert, but not overwhelming them. And I think that also really depends on your target audience, and that's why it's so important to think about your ICA. So if, for example, you're working with busy moms and you're a health coach, I know this is like my standard example, but let's talk about health coaching again. So say you are talking to busy moms, and you are a health coach, then sending them a 70-page PDF with all your thoughts about health coaching and health and wellness might just really be overwhelming for them, because they cannot find the time to read in bed and really digest that information. So in that case, it might be much better to send them like a free audio series, or like an hour-long audio that they can download onto their phone and listen to in the car when they pick up their kids, or they can start and stop and listen and come back to that content. So really keep your audience in mind. Think about the funnel that they might go through. If you're not sure about your product yet, don't let that stop you doing, or you really start building your audience now. I'm going to go and see what's going on in the chat. So hi from Toronto. Hi, Vanessa. Nice to see you. Oh, great risk management point on multiple platforms. Something we should strategize around. Yes, totally. Do you want to expand on what you mean by multiple platforms? I would love to talk about that some more as well. I'm just checking what exactly you mean by that. But maybe that becomes clearer as I talk more about the different ways of putting stuff together as well. So I wanted to talk, so now that we've kind of looked into research and you hopefully have, maybe you don't have an idea exactly on what you want to do yet, but as I said, come to the Facebook group, talk to us, share your ideas, let us know, what you're struggling with, who you would like to work with, and then we can brainstorm the ideas for your freebie together. But I hope that by now you have at least kind of some sense of how you can start thinking about this and how you can do your own research, and then hopefully the ideas will keep coming. So let's talk a little bit about how you can put this together and what different formats you might choose. So I'm sorry, I'm a bit sniffly. Mm, that's much better now. So obviously there's different formats, and I think the most classic thing is probably to offer a PDF. I think what I often see is just like a really simple 2-page PDF. And if that's super punchy and you really deliver value to that, that might be okay. But I think if your opt-in on the website, like your pop-up or your opt-in bar is offering something like, get my free workbook with all my best tips on shoe shopping, for example, and then they just get like a 2-page download, that might be a bit disappointing. And that's just not a good way to start a relationship. So again, that is the balance between overwhelming people and really kind of delivering great content. But before you start working on your opt-in, I would really encourage you to think about the different formats that you can use. So as I said, PDF would be one that should be beautifully branded, and we will look at that in Canva in a second. And then you could create videos. That would be really awesome, because then people get the chance to hear you talk and they get to see your face moving like you do with me now. And that's just a much more intimate way of working with people. It's such a different experience of getting to know someone, reading their PDF or seeing them live on video, or even, not even live necessarily, it can be a recorded video. So I know video can be hard for some people. It definitely has been hard for me. It's been a huge learning curve, and doing do-it-yourself summer school has really helped me build my confidence, just come on live and engage with you guys live. And it's been so beautiful so far. So I got really lovely touching emails, and yeah, I would do it again anytime. So I'm really enjoying this experience so much. But I also know it can be really hard. It's scary getting on video. But if that's something that you want to explore, I would recommend that you just clear a beautiful space in your house. Make sure that you have enough daylight. If you feel like you want to invest a little bit of money into the lighting, then I would recommend getting a softbox of Amazon, which is like $25. Something like that can really help. I use this kind of microphone here. It's called it's Blue. It's quite good. I use it for my podcast as well, and that was $50 on Amazon. And for video cutting, I use iMovie because I'm on a Mac. And if I want to, now you see my face, but sometimes I also share my screen, and I use ScreenFlow for that. So if video is an option for you, also check out Fiverr. There's a lot of support in cutting and editing on there if you're not really sure how that works. And that could be a good way to kind of, create a really beautiful video on a budget. Remember that video doesn't necessarily have to show your face. If you are teaching people something technical, then you could also share your screen. So you could get a software like ScreenFlow, for example, and then you can take people behind the scenes on your computer, like I do in my courses, where I show you how to start branding with Canva, how to create PDFs, how I go a lot of deeper into that stuff, and I really take people behind the scenes. And it's not just me talking into the camera, it's also kind of me, showing people how I do it in practice. Let me just check on the comments again. I have Windows. What would be a good video editor? I'm really sorry, I'm not totally sure, Kathy. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna make a note, and I will post the answer to the question into the group later today. So check out the Facebook group, video editor for Windows. Okay, yeah. And then the next question is your thoughts on websites. So many people are saying not to bother these days, but I still like a great feel for a person outside of the sales portal. Am I just old school? No, Vanessa, you're not old school at all. I love that question. So here's how I feel about this. Obviously, as a web designer, I love websites, and I understand that there's a bunch of tools out there now that can kind of cover certain functionality that a website also delivers. So for example, if you have an opt-in offer where people, give their email, and then they receive a free video series, for example, which is also a really popular choice, you could use lead pages in theory to use to create that experience. So you don't have to have a website necessarily. You could have a lead page where people opt in, and then as they give their email, they're being forwarded to the first page with the I'm so sorry. I lost my internet connection. I'm hoping that I am back now. Um, can't see my camera just now, but let me be back on camera now. I'm so sorry, guys. This is this is such a nightmare to happen when you're in a live webinar, really. Okay, so I saw a new comment from Vanessa, but let me just double check that really everyone can see me again. And then I might just switch to a different modem really quickly. Me 1 minute and I will be right back. Great, okay. It seems to still be working. Welcome back. Hi, thank you, Kathy. Thank you so much. Awesome. Okay. So annoying when that happens. So I was talking about the different channels and how the question was, do you need a website? And I explained that there's some functionality around, what websites can do for you that you can do without a website, like having an opt-in and delivering that through lead pages, for example. But I feel like when I get to know someone new on the internet, I can immediately see, is this a WordPress website? Have they done it themselves? Like what is how much have they invested into their platform? So I personally really think like, yes, you do need a website, even though you can have other software that can be in addition to that. So I have a great blog post on my website, sarahmagdalenalove.com, that is titled something like how I'm not totally sure what it's called. Let me double check. But basically, it outlines I'm using in my business and how I'm keeping that under $130 a month. So let me just double check on the modem really quickly. Maybe there's a better way to connect. Yeah, so if you check that out, that will tell you what software I'm using in addition to my main website. I'm just looking at, yeah. So the tools I'm using to run my business and how I'm keeping them under $130 a month. That's a really interesting blog post to look at, I think, with in regards to that question. Yeah, so having a website or not having a website isn't really the main subject that I wanted to talk about today. But if you have more questions, Vanessa, I'm totally happy to answer those in the Facebook group as well. I'm just going to read out another comment here. How do you evaluate platforms? Is it based on your key customer? I'm looking at adding Spotify, as we are known for using music in our yoga practice. So it might be a good way to engage people at that level. Yes, totally. Yeah. So I would, from an online marketing point of view, almost consider Spotify actually as a social media platform, because you're sharing your own playlist, and people can follow you, they can comment, and they can share your content that way as well. So yeah, it's a really great way to think, think about engaging your audience in different ways that go beyond, Facebook or Instagram, for example. And I would also say, if you have like a good library of beautiful playlists that come together with the videos, for example, that you're offering, it might be worth actually including that into your opt-in offer as well. So you could say something along the lines, for example, of if you want to bring your practice home. So, if you have a full class in the studio, you could say, you're having such a good experience in this space with us here. Do you want to bring that experience home and like listen to the same music, sign up for a newsletter? You're going to get a discount code for, summer classes or something, and you will have access to our playlists on Spotify. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. So we're still talking about the different formats. As I said, you could have a PDF, you could have a video series. I gave you a couple of tips on how to create video. You can also create an audio series or one long audio lecture. So if you feel like you enjoy talking to people, and maybe you want to tell a little bit about your background story that maybe doesn't fit so well in written words, and people can get to know at least your voice that way, that can be really beautiful as well. And it can also be a combination of these different things. So what I'm offering to people, as I said, is like a mini course, and that has different elements. On my other business, which is called daydreamingrose.com, I have a short intro course on herbalism and the tarot. And so in there, I have an intro video that I filmed where I'm just, thank you so much for signing up. Welcome to my world. I really care about these things. And then I have 3 or 4 longer audio sessions where I'm introducing people to making their own herbal products and herbal self-care, and like how to work with plants, and one on the tarot. So, and then there's a PDF as well. So there's 3 different media forms actually, and it's a really rich experience, and people get to choose the format that works best for them. And I think that's really useful as well. So as you know, we have an upcoming session on Teachable as well. So I don't want to go into this too deeply, but I would love to show you right now, just really quickly, like how I would recommend you create a branded PDF. And then I also want to show you how I deliver my courses in Teachable. So since I'm a bit nervous about the internet cutting off again, so let me see really quickly. So I might be gone again in seconds, but bear with me. It might make the whole experience a lot safer, okay? I'll be right back. All right, okay. So I hope I'm still there. Like that really everyone can see me again. Okay. Ta-da, ta-da. Okay, cool. Okay, I hope this is working. I'm going to share my screen with you. And if you could let me know that you're seeing, that would be great. Thank you so much. So the first thing I wanted to show you is how I'm creating branded PDFs in Canva. And, the first session that we had 2 weeks ago was all about how you can get started with branding and work with Canva. So if you want to go deeper with this, do check that session out. And I also have a course on onlineawesomeness.com where I'm teaching you a lot more about branding and how to create all kinds of graphics in Canva. So yeah, so this is the kind of main dashboard that you can see here in Canva. And then question that has come up the last time was, what is the difference between maybe US and European A4 format? And to be really honest, I'm not totally sure, but I can tell you that you can go to the file at the top here and you can see exactly what centimeters or inches this is. And then if you need to, you can manually change the dimensions here. And so I would recommend that you write out the content that you, so sorry, I just wanted to check you're still there. I would recommend that you write out your content in a Word document, and then really when you have that all finalized and together, then you go into Canva, because Canva can sometimes crash, or you want to play around. So make sure that you're editing everything in Word and then come over here. And so you can work with all these beautiful layouts. This one is a free example, for example, that could be really great. You can change, you can just go and click on the text, change that to suit you, and then you can also click on the colored elements here. Okay, I kind of, like this one here, you can change that to be your branding color as well. And then you can duplicate these pages and work with the next one as well. And you can just take the header content out here. And you could work with the transparency of the background. So if you want to keep it consistent and you have this header page, you can increase the transparency here, and then this could be your actual content page where you're copying in the text. And so then you would go to the text box here, say add a little bit of the body text, and then you can move that around. You can work with the formatting and the sizing, and you can fill that up with anything really that you like. And so, as I said, if you want to learn a little bit more about how you can work with the different elements here, with free images and shapes and frames, and you can upload your own images through the upload section here, please go back and check our first section out. That would give you an introduction on that. Let me check the chat code really quickly. Oh, less video, have sound. Oh, so sorry, guys. Okay. That is very annoying. Thank you for letting me know. Did you see the beginning of me sharing my screen? That would be important to know. If someone can let me know about that, that would be fantastic. So I've just shared with you, I'm just coming back to Canva here. I've shared with you how how I've created this A4 document, and I went into a little bit of detail of how you can continue with the other pages here. And yeah, but as I said, there's a great intersection on the replay page. Let me see. Just the beginning, saw a start of Canva, and then it went blank. Okay, great. Well, I think you haven't missed that much, to be honest. And as I said, I really go into a lot more detail in this first session that we had together. But I went ahead and I worked with one of these elements here. So I picked this one just to give you an example, and I dragged that over. And then I work kind of with these different elements here. So I made the background more transparent, for example, so I can write on it better. Yeah, I would really recommend that you go back and check that session out. I talk a lot about how you can get started with branding, how you can create a great mood board that really matches you as a person, and your business. And so that would be a great way to kind of build the foundation for that, and then come back to Canva and create your PDF if that's what you want to create. Cool, so let me show you what my Teachable course looks like. I'm just gonna stop screen sharing for a second, and then I'm gonna share my other screen with you, where you can see my Teachable school. Okay. Ta-da-da-da-da. Here we go. So this should work now. So this is my Teachable school, and the freebie I have on here is called the Free Do-It-Yourself Web Design and Branding Starter Kit. And if you open it, you can see here I have a welcome. So this is a little video of me where I'm just gonna, this is probably gonna be a bit awkward, but just wanna show you really quickly. Or it might be a little bit too slow now with the internet. So yeah, that's me basically saying hi, I'm introducing myself, I'm telling everyone who I am, I'm saying thank you so much for signing up, and this is what you can expect, and this is how you can work with this. And then the next session is, or the next bit here is the Web Design and Online Marketing Workbook. So it has a lot of practical tools. You guys can still sign up for this, by the way. Like, feel free to make use of all the different freebies that I have. Really no shame. You can find that at onlineawesomeness.com. And then the next session is how to create a mood board for your branding. So that is an introduction of something that we looked at in our first session in the summer school here as well. And then the next bit is an introduction to WordPress.org. And then this one, I'm explaining why WordPress is such a powerful platform and why I really recommend it for absolutely everyone who's running a business, or even to people who want to, upgrade their blog in a way. And then the last section is a resource list of things that I'm recommending. So I'm again inviting people into the free Facebook group, and I'm sharing here what the different tools are that I am using. And yeah, so I think that's a really another good way to deliver an opt-in. It's a little bit richer than just giving people a PDF. But what's also really important is if you're not sure, if you just don't feel ready to be on camera yet or an audio, then don't let that stop you making a start, If all you have right now is a couple of really great blog posts, then use these to make a start building your list. I think that is really much better than stopping yourself there. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and come back to you. Hello. Cool. So we've talked about the different formats. I showed you what I'm doing, and I gave you some ideas about what you could do. Now I want to talk a little bit about the practical delivery of your opt-in offer as well. So what I really recommend is that you have a nurture sequence, and that means when someone opt-ins into your newsletter, usually they would get one welcome email, and that includes the download of the thing that you've offered them. But what would be much better for you and your audience if you have a complete nurture sequence where people get this first welcome email, but then they also get maybe 3 or 5 or 7 days later 2 or 3 more emails that really kind of take them deeper into this experience and tell them a little bit more about your business. So let's talk about what the goals for the nurture sequence are. You want to introduce yourself and your work, and then you want to establish yourself as an expert. So you want to show maybe other blog posts that are really popular that you've written. You want to tell people about any interview that you've given somewhere, and maybe you also want to tell them a little bit more about your backstory. So why are you doing this work that you're doing, and why do you love it so much? You want to make any announcements. So if you're currently having a sale, then that absolutely needs to be included in your welcome email or nurture sequence. Let people know what's currently on offer. You want to guide them and kind of engage them in a way. So maybe encourage them to follow you on social media. Say, hey, if you have a question about this workbook that you would just receive from me, this is where you can find me. You can tweet me, you can message me on Instagram, or you can come into my Facebook group. So think about the ways that you would want people to engage with you if they have questions about the opt-in offer that you've given them. And then you want to thank them, of course, for inviting them into their newsletter inbox or email inbox, because it's a huge honor. And you also want to kind of let them know what to expect from you. So if you are someone who only emails out a newsletter once a month, or if you're someone who emails every Monday, then do let them know about that, because it's a great way to make sure that they're neither disappointed nor overwhelmed. So you just want to let them know what they can expect from your newsletter. That's really important. Again, if you go to my website, sarahmagdalenalove.com, I have a blog post on how to write a great nurture sequence. I think this is super important, and I would really love you to check that out as well. So now I want to show you, again, if you've got any questions, let me just refresh the comment box here. It seems no questions so far. That's fine. But I want to, again, share my screen and show you how I'm using ConvertKit to deliver my nurture sequence. And then I also want to show you how you can upload a PDF or an audio into WordPress. So we talked about the different possible media forms that you can deliver your content in. If you have a PDF or an audio, I would recommend that you upload that into your WordPress library. I'm going to show you how to do that. And if you have a video, I would recommend that you either upload that to YouTube or Vimeo. And that's because a larger file video can take up a lot of space of your website, and it can mean that the website loads a little bit slower, which is not good for your SEO. So go and get a YouTube or Vimeo account, and even the free one would let you password protect your video. So you can, in your welcome email, say, hey, this is the link to my video or your video series, and this is the password that you're going to have to use. Okay, So let me share my screen again, and then I want to show you how I work with ConvertKit. And I have great news about ConvertKit because it's really my favorite newsletter provider. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute, but also I have partnered with them. So I have an affiliate link now through which you can get your first month off if you want to try ConvertKit. And so I like it so much because it gives me a lot of flexibility in how I'm managing my different subscribers through that came through different channels, so I can tag people, which is really valuable. And I have a bunch of automations here. If that doesn't ring a bell for you right now, that's totally okay. I might run an extra session next week if people are interested on how to get started with ConvertKit and kind of go deeper into why it's a great tool and like how you can best use it. But basically to say that it gives me the chance to send different nurture sequences out to people and also to tag contacts in different ways. So if, for example, someone has worked with me one-on-one and they've signed up a year ago, that is an information that I might want to have in the future. Or I can also say, I can see that, almost 360 people are now in the summer school. And yeah, I can see where they've come from. I can see what they're engaging with. I can see how many of these people have opened my emails and so forth. And that is really valuable information for my business. And I really wish I had started gathering that information sooner because it now means that I'm spending my ad budget differently. For example, it means that I'm creating content in a different way because I have more opportunity to kind of listen to what people are actually interested in. So the sequence that you are all on is this one here. It's a do-it-yourself summer school welcome. And then the other one that I wanted to show you that might actually be a better example is the welcome to sarahmagdalenalove.com. So as you can see here, the first email goes out right away, immediately, and it says, welcome to the club. It has my header, and then it has a big thank you, and thank you for signing up into my email box. As promised, here's the link to the free do-it-yourself and branding kit. So that leads them to Teachable. And then I'm saying, if you're new to my work, you might want to check out some of my popular blog posts. I'm linking them here. And considering working with me, check out my portfolio, my web design packages. As a subscriber, you're getting $100 off. And if you're just looking for online marketing design support, then you might want to join my free Facebook group. And I'm letting them know I'm also running Daydreaming Rose, which is a separate business. And then a couple of days later, 5 days later to be precise, I'm saying, hey, how are you getting on with your internet dreams? And I'm saying, it's been a few days since you joined my world, and I just wanted to say hi and see if there's anything you need help with. Have you had a chance to work with the starter kit? As a reminder, here's your access, and here's the Facebook group. And then if you're on a budget but you want to take it further, here's a 25% off code as well for my courses. So I'm kind of giving people a chance to get to see some of what I'm offering for free and really have a taster for my work. And then if it's right for them, I am saying, look, you can also have 25% off for my paid courses. Let me check what the comment is. On my private page, clients get a more personal and political me than my professional page, but some of them want that and the rest take their chances. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. So there's very many different opinions around this. So some online marketing teachers will tell you it's really important to create urgency in your nurture sequence. So they will say, if there's something that you want to sell to people that have signed up to your newsletter, you should give them an incentive to act right away. So they could say, for example, you could say here, you get 25% off, but only in the next 3 days. So I have personally chosen not to do that because it's simply not true. Like, people can get that discount anytime, and I don't necessarily want to pressure them into buying the course right away if that's just not the right time for them. But that's a very personal decision, and we know from research that having some kind of incentive to act fast or to have some kind of fake scarcity can be very effective in terms of sales. So I would just encourage you to, yeah, do your own thinking around that and see how that feels for you. But really do explore all the functionality that ConvertKit can offer you in terms of creating that kind of nurture sequence. Just checking back on comments again. You said that you just started doing more Facebook Lives than recorded. How have you found it different with your content, your business, and client relationship building? So do you mean how is being live different than having recorded videos? I think being live is just such a beautiful way to really get direct feedback and to also get an idea of the kind of stuff that people are struggling with. You know, like you are asking me these questions right now, and that's just telling me a lot about what you guys are wondering about, which is really interesting to me. And it means that, you know, I feel like this is a really like mutually supportive situation because you are telling me what you would like to learn more about, and I can go, oh great, you know, I would love to help you with that. I would love to maybe write another blog post on this. I can post and come live into the Facebook group. We can talk about this some more. So recorded videos are awesome, and I really love making them as well. I'm going to have more of them, but they're just not as immediate, and I feel like there's just more intimacy in getting on camera and speaking to people live. So I'm really glad that I did it, even though I also do find it really hard. Yeah. So coming back to ConvertKit, another thing I briefly wanted to show you is the automations here. So I have something, for example, it says, if someone subscribes to my main Sarah Magdalena Love opt-in, they're getting on this sequence, and they're also being added to this tag Sarah Magdalena Love subscribers. If someone subscribes to the under blog post Daydreaming Rose, then they get on this sequence and they get that Daydreaming Rose tag here. And so this is beautiful because I now not only know what they have actually subscribed to, I also know where they were coming from. So I can see that the opt-in under my blog post and Daydreaming Rose also have a certain conversion rate and a certain of number of people that they're bringing in. And that is not something that you can do with a free or a simpler kind of newsletter provider like MailChimp, for example. So I have started out on MailChimp. I think it's a really great tool. If you're just beginning and you just have a PDF that people can download, then MailChimp can be right for you. But if you want to kind of automate mail things and have that kind of system and structure in place, then I really recommend ConvertKit. Now I wanted to show you how you can upload a PDF into your media library. So I'm in my WordPress dashboard here. And again, there's going to be another session kind of really taking you deeper into WordPress as well. So hang tight for that one. But I'm just going to say, I will go to the media library here, and then I'm going to say add new. And then I'm going to select a file from my computer. So like this one, for example, and say open. And then I'm going to upload that. And now it's in my media library, and I can get the download link. So as I'm writing my welcome email, in ConvertKit or MailChimp or whatever I am, I'm going to just embed that download link here. So here's the worksheet, for example. That's probably a better example that you guys downloaded last week for the branding session or the week before. And it has its own URL. So I'm going to copy that URL. And if I put that in the browser, you can see that it links me straight to the document. So if I include this link into my welcome email, then people can download this here. And that's exactly what I've done for this one here. So again, just to really quickly illustrate this, when you get the first email here that says welcome to the club, it says here's the link, and I'm just highlighting a bit of text and then going onto the link here, and then I'm putting the link in there. So this looks like this. I'm just saying insert link, and then people can download your PDF. And the same with the audio. So you can also upload an audio into your WordPress library like this. If it's a video, as I said, then I would recommend that you go to Vimeo or YouTube to that. Cool. And then finally, I would love to talk a little bit about how you can attract your leads and how you can grow your list that way. Hi guys, I'm back. Again, let me update the chat box really quickly, see if anyone has any more questions. Keep them coming, please. I love your questions. So you have decided what your opt-in offer is going to be. You have put it technically together. You have your nurture sequence in place. People can download your stuff, or they can have the Teachable School. They can have the mini course on Teachable and access to that. So your next step really is like, how are you getting people to opt into your newsletter? And honestly, I could have like a whole day workshop on this. So I just want to share my best tips with you here. And I want to focus also on free options for this because I want to assume that you don't have a massive budget to spend on this. So what the first thing that I really recommend is that you map out your complete online presence and you're making sure that your opt-in offer is very clearly and visibly advertised on all your different platforms. And again, if you're unsure about social media and you want to expand your social media strategy, go back to last week's session and check that out. I'm telling you more about how you can work with headers and how you can work with links on Instagram, with Linktree, for example. But basically, really map out all the different online platforms you have and see that your short bio, your Facebook header is always saying like, hey, I'm offering this free do-it-yourself branding kit, and this is where you can sign up to it. And I would also recommend that you maybe split this up into on-site and off-site opt-ins. Let me check on the comment again and then expand on what I mean by that. I'm thinking of offering something like a 20-day one course. Would you recommend using ConvertKit for the daily emails? Yeah, ConvertKit is really great for that because 21 days is quite long. If that's going to be a freebie, that sounds quite long to me. So I'm wondering if maybe you want to create a 7-day course that is like a taste Alexandra, and then you can say, if you want to go deeper with this experience and have the 21-day course, then that would be a premium course. And yeah, ConvertKit would be great to deliver that because you can have as many. Oh, no freebie. Awesome. Okay, yeah, that sounds a bit much to me as a freebie. Because you can have 21 or as many emails as you want in one sequence. You can just add and add and add to them. And the great thing is that you can see how many of those emails have been opened and how many people have actually clicked. So if, for example, this is a low price product, I don't know what it is, so I'm just making an assumption here, but if it was a low financial commitment, and you can see that maybe after day 7 or after day 14, people are dropping off and they're not opening the email anymore, they might not be clicking. Of course, that's heartbreaking, but it also is really valuable information that ConvertKit is giving you because you can learn from that you need to find a way to engage people more, or maybe 21 days of getting a new email every single day was a bit much. And so if that's the case, you can just ask people, and say, I saw you have taken this challenge and I hope you enjoyed it. Is there anything that could be different? How can this be more valuable or engaging for you? Cool, I hope that answers your question. But so coming back to checking on and off-site presences. So you have your website, hopefully, and hopefully that's on WordPress. So you can check, do you have pop-ups on there? I really recommend that you have an opt-in under each of your blog posts as well. Pop-ins are somewhat controversial. Honestly, for the first 2 years of my business, I really didn't like them. I thought they were just annoying. And another really important thing to remember is that Google punishes mobile opt-ins because they're very annoying on mobiles. If you want to see a website and a pop-up pops up, it's just like, oh, no one wants that. So it's really important that you disable your pop-ups for mobile. If you're not sure how that works, I'm happy to help you offer retainer-based tech support with that kind of stuff. But I've learned for the do-it-yourself summer school that actually pop-ups can be incredibly effective if they're done right. I know I have a technical problem with my one right now, so don't take that as an example. But I will say that before the summer school started, I had a pop-up and that converted 10 people a day. So I didn't spend any money of this, but 10 new people joined the online awesome school, the do-it-yourself summer school each day through my pop-up, and I thought it was just being annoying. I hadn't really considered it before. But yeah, have a look and have a think about that. Pop-ups can be quite powerful. I really recommend that you have something above the fold as people come to your website and opt in. So that means that when people open your site, they don't even have to scroll down to see what you're offering as an opt-in because it is above the fold. And then it needs to be under each blog post as well, because you will have a lot of people who come to your website not by opening your main page, but by seeing, sorry, that was my little dog, but by seeing a blog post being shared somewhere. So this is their first engagement with your website. And then they might read through the bottom and be like, hey, that was really great content. How can I stay in touch with that person? And that's why you want to have an opt-in under your blog post as well. Another chance is, of course, backlinks from social media. So you want to make sure that all your different social media channels link to your opt-in, and that would be the offsite opt-in map that you're making. If you're on Instagram, for example, you can use a service called Linktree to lead people into different directions, because you get to have just one link on Instagram and Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. You might want to use Linktree to kind of, list different things that you're offering. So you can have, check out my blog post, and here's my opt-in. This is where you can opt in. Maybe I'm going to show you really quickly what that looks like for me, so it makes a little bit more sense. So let's open my Instagram presence. And I have this Linktree link here, and that the first one is sign up for the free summer school, and then this is linking to my courses, this is linking to my WEN website, that's my podcast, and then it's my other blog. Yeah, I'm back here. I hope that makes sense and illustrate that a little bit more. And then finally, make use of Facebook group promotions. If you're engaging with the group anyway and you're really sticking around there being helpful, then do look out for the weekly sharing thread that many Facebook groups have, and use that to say, hey, this is my opt-in. I would love to hear from you. I would love to see like how you've worked with that, and you can sign up here and it's free. And then finally, of course, if you have a budget for that, you could think about having Facebook ads as well that lead people into your opt-in offer, whatever that might be. Yeah, so I've made really positive experiences with that as well. I've really only started with Facebook ads this year before the Do-It-Yourself Summer School, and that has brought a lot of new people into my world, which I'm really grateful about. And it hasn't cost me the world, and I have on average paid $2 per lead. And so, yeah, people have different experience. It really depends on the niche that you're in and the kind of opt-in offer that you're offering. Facebook ads could also be a whole other day workshop, so I don't want to go into that too deeply. But if you have any questions, then do really feel free to post them in the Facebook group as well. That is all the content I have for today, friends. So we talked about a lot. I would really, really like, it would mean the world to me to hear from you what your current opt-in ideas are. If you have any ideas, if you have any questions on like how you can deliver your opt-in offer in a better way, or if maybe you already have an opt-in but it hasn't really taken off yet, do let us know, comment to the Facebook group, and then we can help you out and brainstorm with this some more. And if you have another question now, I'm just going to double check again. It seems not. You're welcome. No freebie. Yes. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, guys, I really hope this has been useful for you. Have a really beautiful day. I'm going to email everyone the replay. I'm going to be live in the Facebook group again this week. And we might just do another session going deeper into ConvertKit because I love it so much and I want to really show you how it works. Have a beautiful day. Bye.